I decided to call him, but I didn't want to call, for he gave a sudden intimation that he was content of being alone. He stretched his arms out towards the dark water in a curious way, and, far away as I was from him, I could have sworn he was trembling. I glanced seaward, and distinguished nothing except a single green light, and that might have been the end of a dock. When I looked once more for Gatsby, he had vanished, and I was alone again in the unquiet darkness. If it wasn't for the mist, we could see your home across the bay. You always have a green light that burns all night at the end of your dock. He seemed absorbed in what he had just said. Possibly it had occurred to him that the colossal significance of the light had vanished forever. Compared to the great distance that had separated him from Daisy, it had seemed very near to her. It had seemed as close as a star to the moon. Now it was again green light on a dock. His count of enchanted objects had diminished one by one. I lived at West Egg, the less fashionable of the two. Across the Courtesy Bay, the white palaces of fashionable East Egg glittered along the water, and the history of the summer really begins on the evening I drove over there. He was balancing himself on the dashboard of his car, with what resourcefulness of movement that is so peculiarly American. I suppose, with the absence of lifting work and rigid sitting in youth, and even more with the formless grace of our nervous, sporadic games, this quality was continually breaking through his punctilious manner in the shape of restlessness. He was never quite still. There was always a tapping foot somewhere, or the impatient opening and closing of a hand.